I've got my now pretty smelly sailing shirt on, which can mean only one thing. We are sailing out of here. What do you think, bud? Give it a smell.
No, not that bad.
Okay, beautiful. What are you doing there?
Well, I'm going kind of all out for breakfast because we got a huge hogfish yesterday. So I made a little bit of tomato sauce with olives, onions, and then I'm gonna cook up a little bit of our hogfish steak.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. That is just like one little bit of our hogfish that we got.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of meat.
I'll do this other chunk, the tail, and basically just make like a huge meal so that we can just kind of be picking at it for the rest of the day until dinner. So yeah, I'm excited. This is the best part when you get to put it in the pan.
Yeah, I hear you, bud. Cool. Well, here we go, breakfast.
Yum.
All right.
So we're getting ready to head off to the creek that Alan showed us when he took us out for a day of lobstering and spearfishing.
We could use more meat, you know, we could use the protein. Hopefully we're gonna catch a big snapper in one of those creeks, and then if not, we'll go back out to the patch reef and see if we can't find some more hogfish.
Atticus, what'd you get, bud?
I got 2 snapper and 2 jacks.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, the jacks are not bad. They're decent. I think they're yellow-tailed jacks, but I'm not entirely certain. And then these 2 snapper, which I'm very proud of. Yeah. And they're just beautiful fish, but man, look at those teeth. You wouldn't want to get bit by one of those guys. Yeah, look at that. That's the real deal. So now we are going to have fish for a while. I've been fishing my whole life and spearfishing for a couple years now, and like this has just been, the last 2 days has just been a total blast catching all these fish. It's been so fun.
Good job,
so, thanks, bro. Okay, disclaimer, I am not super good at filleting, so. This is the tough part, is getting next to the stomach, but not getting into the stomach, but still like getting as much meat as possible. You gotta go right along the ribs, but not break in, you know. And it's very easy to break in. Yeah, see, just did it there. Not all that good. Could be worse. Hey, that's not bad. And there you go. That's 1 snapper fillet. Sitting here in the afternoon with a drink, listening to like a podcast or an audiobook and cleaning the fish is one of my favorite activities now. And it's just beautiful, you know? It's just nice to be out here. What we do every day so far is it's just a whole lot simpler. It's just go out, try and get fish, come back, clean it, eat it, you know? I love it. I could keep doing that process forever.
So I'm super excited about dinner. Jordan filleted our fish today, which is a big treat because previously he's just been kind of chopping them up and I've been cooking them whole or like with the bones in them.
You look like you're trying to sell me some Fireball. You look like a hot girl at a bar. Being like, want some Fireball?
No, this was actually
it's only $5. So what do you think of the lifestyle that we've been leading? Like, did it take you any time to get adjusted to it?
For me, it hasn't been an adjustment period for being like far from civilization. For me, what I've been struggling with is trying to get into the mindset where every day is just an adventure, and so you do what will make you happy today. Earlier today, Jordan was like, "Man, it's so beautiful out here," and just as he said that, a spotted eagle ray came right by the boat, and I feel like it's just nice to be in a place where you can really appreciate the natural beauty of the environment.
And we can live off the bounty of the sea.
Yes, and it's so good. If we didn't have this fish, we'd probably be eating canned chicken or canned tuna, which we're running low on.
And you don't mind the lack of showering?
No, it's like a fun challenge, you know?
I just feel lucky that you enjoy this so much, bud. You don't think twice about, like, the things that you don't have. Like, in fact, between you and I feel like you could live out here forever.
Yeah, I love being in places where there aren't a lot of people. I realize that's what makes me the most happy. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's cool, bud. You're a good bud, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Morning, everybody. All right, I'm receiving weather facts images right now. The one that I'm receiving at this moment is the infrared satellite imagery. Here's the Yucatan Peninsula. Here we are, and there's not like any huge, you know, systems coming our way via like tropical waves or anything. You've got this thing hanging off the south coast of Cuba, but that's not unusual. Cuba tends to produce big thunderstorm systems, so that could move our way, but they generally stay north of where we are. So here's the other facts I got, and it's the wind and wave forecast. Okay, and same thing. So if you look over here at the Yucatan Peninsula, this is a forecast for tomorrow morning, and they're saying roughly 10 knots of wind out of the east-southeast and 3-foot waves. So that means that tomorrow is going to be a great day for us to get underway. I just love this weather facts setup. I mean, to be out here in the middle of nowhere and be able to quite reliably get weather information is a pretty incredible thing, especially on a tight budget without a whole lot of equipment. All right, bud, so what are we doing?
Well, we just made friends with the Turneffe Reef Resort, I think they're called.
Over that way?
We just went over to ask about dive sites, got some cool tips, and then I kind of slipped in that we were low on water. And he said we can bring our tanks over and fill them up. So we're gonna get 15 gallons. It's crazy how like 15 gallons of water right here can pretty much mean the difference of a week to us, at least 5 days, right? And then we're just talking about kind of changing up our water strategy because we really want to kind of stretch our time here as much as we can. So we were just talking about limiting our water consumption to, we each will get 1 full liter of water a day for showering, and I usually take like half a liter for each shower, so that means shower in the morning, shower at night. We're gonna probably limit our rinsing down of our gear to just the spear gun. You know, he was saying like, water is a precious resource, so they generally don't give water to cruisers or sell it. But you know, we talked to him for a while, so he said he could hook us up. But I think he had pity on us because I wasn't trying to make him feel bad for us, but I was actually just kind of telling him about the strategies that we use to conserve water, and I was like, spray bottles, man, water bottles, you gotta limit yourself. Yeah. And I think he was kind of like impressed that we were able to stretch out so much water for a long time. So let's get some water.
Water sucks. Gatorade is better.
I've got my now pretty smelly sailing shirt on, which can mean only one thing. We are sailing out of here. So we're anchored right here, and this is the patch that we're gonna be using. Now it says that there's a stake with a yellow flag. We went over there the other day and we did not see it. And it's a little bit tricky because that reef tapers off. It doesn't just end dramatically, it tapers off into this patch reef. So we've got this we've got to find this narrow slot of deeper water to get through. And it's definitely not obvious. I'm looking around and I kind of have an idea of where it is, but it's not like staring me in the face. This is another situation where I put in the waypoints from this guidebook and it conflicts with both Garmin and Navionics. At the end of the day, we're gonna basically use eyeball navigation to get out of here.
And then also we just, kind of like our departure checklist is sending a Delorme preset text to our family. And I just, we mounted it here. And then I just sent one to our family, and then I just started tracking. So that's something that we do every time we're underway as well. So we're all getting suited up for our sun protection. A lot of people have been asking us what these sun hoodies are, and it's a company called Ex Officio, and they're pretty sweet.
These things are amazing. Problem on Atticus is we both have one. And we've been out here for about a week now. So you can imagine the state that these things are in. What do you think, bud? Give it a smell.
No, not that bad. Okay, we're like 30 seconds away from the waypoint.
Okay, more right.
One more right.
It really helps being up here, getting a much better look at everything. And there's our friends.
Depth is 2.4.
Okay. Yeah, it looks real easy to see up here, and this is definitely the cut. You're basically right in the center. You might want to go right just a little bit.
One more right.
Yeah, so you can. Another tricky thing is that this side of the reef ends a little more abruptly, whereas this side, it really tapers off, and I can see a bunch of small little patches of reef. So we're gonna try and favor the right side a little. Boy, our dolphin friends are seeing us out. Okay, so there's the reef on our port side, and there's the reef to starboard. Okay, you can turn left a little.
Okay, going a little bit left.
Okay, that's good, hold that. I'm basically just looking at the general color of the water, because I know that we've missed the real shallow bits of the reef over there and over there, but now I'm just looking for what's relatively the deepest water, which appears to be right here. Boy, our dolphin friends have followed us the whole way out. That's so cool. The dolphins literally like piloted us out of the atoll. See you guys. All right, made it through the pass, left in our dust.
Dolphins are still with us.
Oh, the dolphins are still here. That's awesome. Let's do some sailing. So we've got Lighthouse Reef is right behind me, about 2 miles to the east of us right now. And we're definitely in the lee of the atoll because it is like just nearly glassy calm out here. Lighthouse Reef is really exciting for us to visit because it's the hardest of the atolls to get to. It's 18 miles east of Turneffe, and Turneffe is already, I think it's like 8 miles off the reef. And then on top of that, we've been asking around a lot about like good freediving locations in Belize, and everyone was saying that Lighthouse Reef is basically the best. The guidebook that we've been reading is saying that Lighthouse is the best. And so Desiree and I are finally kind of feeling like this is what we've been working so hard for a long time, you know? We're finally kind of doing that part of cruising that we used to imagine in our head when we were stuck in the boatyard or, you know, working and fiberglassing in Isa Mujeres, like these visions of beautiful isolated lagoons and atolls in the middle of the ocean and spearfishing and snorkeling. So it's been crazy to like wake up in the morning and like tell ourselves, wow, like that's right now. You know, like today we're gonna do the thing that we've been dreaming about for a long time. Okay, so this is our entrance waypoint, which we're approaching right now. We're gonna have a reef on our right, reef on our left, and we're just gonna snake right between them, heading for this wreck. So we're gonna just head right towards that wreck. And then, just as we're approaching Half Moon Cay, there's a shoal that we'll be going straight towards. So we'll have to wrap around it to the left. But she shows there's a patch reef here, and then also this is where we're anchoring. So we're gonna wrap around, and there's patch reef all over the place. So we've just gotta keep a really good lookout, basically all the way through this.
Sounds like this is gonna be fun, huh?
Yeah, pucker time.
Navigating through these atolls is really fun, and when we do it successfully, it feels great, but when we're actually in the moment of doing it, it's super stressful. So gotta wake up and get going. I'm gonna head to 105 heading.
And like a total idiot, I forgot to turn the microphone on before the most interesting part of the trip. But here you can see we are approaching a field of patch reef that is at the entrance into the lagoon of Lighthouse Reef. The patch reef ended up being a lot worse, or a lot shallower and a lot more prolific than our cruising guide suggested. And you'll keep seeing me pointing to really shallow patch reef that I'm helping Desiree turn around so that we can avoid hitting them. And you can really see we learned that having a really vigilant bow watch in situations like this is absolutely vital. There's probably 2 or 3 individual patches that we definitely would have kissed had we not actively avoided them. And you'll see there's a couple of really big pieces. Here I'm yelling to Desiree to turn hard to starboard. We barely avoided that piece. And here coming up is probably the most shallow patch that we came across on the starboard side. So now I'm pointing up ahead at an area that looks like it has a whole lot less coral. So we actually deviated from the course recommended by our cruising guide to get out of this field of patch reef. And so here you can see we're exiting that field and coming up onto an area of just sandy bottom. So we found that it's always preferential to have a really vigilant bow watch as opposed to following any other sources of information.
3.3. Going starboard.
All right, so we made it around the shoal that we had to miss over here. Man, you can see when a cloud comes, the water gets darker and it freaks me out because I can't see very well. So right over here is the patch reef, and then here's another one over here that we need to get around. And I think I'm gonna try and get us around this way and then head south towards the island. Okay, straight. Okay, starboard. Okay, hold that. Okay, cool, that worked out. So there's that patch reef I wanted to avoid, and we went around it, and now it looks like we've got clear water all the way up to the island.
Jordan's just sending our family our preset text message that says we made it safely.
All right.
We made it.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, homie.
Oh yeah.
Boy, that's so
Cold
good.
beer. And we were just talking about like how cool it is, like how difficult this anchorage is to get to. There's just so many coral heads and you gotta be so careful and do so much research, you know, and you're already in a third world country and you've gotta like go into like a very isolated part of that third world country to get here. And there's no other boats. So I mean, it feels like this is a really hard to get to place that if you do get here, it's just like, it's so worth it. Cheers, guys. We made it made it to Lighthouse. Man. All right. Oh. Well, time to clean up all this junk and yeah. Have a couple beers and watch some Game of Thrones.
Dun 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 dun.